All right, folks, let's dive into this news that's causing quite a stir. Confirmed, the Russo brothers are going to reboot the MCU with Secret Wars. That's quite a change, isn't it?
Really unexpected, right?
Yeah, this decision comes from a bold strategy by the Russos. They basically intend to reboot the cinematic universe, bringing that fresh start vibe with Secret Wars, which is one of the narratives most intriguing from the comics.
Of course. And you know, right? This reboot could change the entire direction the MCU was taking. But how exactly do they plan to balance the new with what has already been built so far?
Look, like they're betting on a grand reinterpretation. Instead of just continuing the same line, the Russians want to do a reset that allows not only connecting previous stories, but also creating new narratives.
Interesting. So the idea is to unite the old paths with the new beginning, right?
Exactly. It's as if they are taking the mess that the MCU was building and reorganizing everything to fit that missing piece for Secret Wars. It's a restart, but with a firm foot in the legacy.
But wait, don't you think it's a bit risky? I mean, this universe has already won over so many audiences. Restarting in such a radical way might alienate some old fans.
Yes, it's a valid concern, indeed. But look, the idea seems to be to bring something new and dynamic. Something that sparks the interest of both longtime fans and new ones. The Russians, with all their experience, know how to balance this equilibrium. Or at least, that's what the expectation suggests.
I understand. And this news didn't come from just anywhere, right? It's circulating through a YouTube video with all that standard interface. It has the about press, copyrights, and so on. An indication that it might be a well-crafted production.
Absolutely. These YouTube details, like contact us, content creators, advertising, suggest that it's an official release, or at least an announcement, intended to make an impact, even in the digital age.
Yes. And speaking of impact, did you see how alarming this title is? Confirmed. At the beginning, which already puts our curiosity through the roof.
Exactly. It's designed to grab people's attention. It's almost like, look, something big is about to happen. And it's not just about the idea of a reboot, but the narrative potential of Secret Wars. Just imagine, various characters and universes clashing, plot twists. And that feeling that everything built up until now is about to be reinterpreted.
Really intriguing. Speaking of Secret Wars, do you think this reboot approach might follow the comics path where multiple realities collide?
Exactly. That's the key point. It's like a narrative reset, but without losing the essence of each story. Like, imagine various timelines reorganizing. It's like when you try to tidy up the mess in your closet and, at the same time, discover forgotten pieces that tell stories of your life.
I get the analogy. Quite curious, right? But explain to me, how do the Russians fit into this reboot? They weren't involved anymore after Avengers Endgame?
Oh, they were indeed. And this return is kind of an upside down on our expectations. After having completed that phase, now they are going to bring new foundations to the Marvel Universe. We already see hints from behind the scenes, and it seems that the plans are grandiose.
Makes sense. And this reboot, besides enhancing the narrative, can also open doors for alternative stories, right? Like exploring characters that were previously in the shadows.
Certainly. It's an opportunity to showcase some unprecedented scripts. It may be that some heroes and villains have their roles expanded or completely change functions. Like this. The MCU can reinvent itself in a way that surprises even those who have been following it for years.
Yes, and it's that surprise that captivates, isn't it? Exactly. But, I still have a doubt. Could this strategy dilute the identity that we love so much in the MCU? Or will it strengthen it?
That's a pertinent question. It is indeed a risk, because changing something that is already so established can confuse the audience. But it's also a chance to do something innovative. If the Russos can maintain the balance, right, the reboot won't erase the legacy, but rather expand it.
Interesting, but I have to say, there are those who criticize this approach, thinking it's a kind of commercial maneuver to attract new viewers. Don't you think this criticism has its weight?
Of course. Some argue that it's a marketing strategy, but I also believe that in a project of this magnitude, there's always a mix of artistic vision with the need for commercial renewal. It may seem a bit forced to some, but the Russians always deliver quality in what they do.
I see. And still, there's this whole issue of the technology for dissemination. The fact that the announcement is on YouTube with all those NFL resources, Sunday Ticket C 2025, Google, LLC, and so on shows that it's not just news, but a reflection of this new way of consuming content today, isn't it?
No doubt, it's a demonstration of how modern communication works. The platform not only informs, but also engages and drives discussion. It's as if the announcement already has a layer of interactivity, since you can follow comments, reactions in real time, etc.
That makes me think. This move by the Russians might be opening up space for other cinematic universes to also rethink their narratives. Is Marvel setting a new standard?
It's a possibility, yes. If this model is successful, we might see more and more studios adopting a planned reboot approach, where the legacy is preserved, but there's room for innovations.
But going back to the MCU, do you believe that Secret Wars will become this crucial turning point for the entire saga?
I have a feeling that it will. It's a milestone that fans have been anticipating for a long time. The idea of bringing together different realities and characters in a single epic event has immense appeal. It could be the catalyst that redefines the next Marvel stories.
It really is grand. And adding to that, we can't ignore the nostalgia factor. Many fans will remember the early days of the MCU and the passion with which they followed each phase.
Exactly. The nostalgia. It weighs heavily in this balance. The Russos know how to use this sentimental connection while making room for new characters and storylines. It's a risky game, but if done well, it can be phenomenal.
Of course, and we can't forget the digital technical aspect either. The way this news is disseminated already shows an intelligent use of digital platforms, which helps build the hype even before the release.
That's right. The integration with social media, the use of essential videos, and even the details of copyright, all of this shows how Marvel and the Russos are in tune with modern times. It's almost like combining a blockbuster with a sharp digital strategy.
Yes, no doubt. Now, looking at the big picture, do you think this could reopen wounds regarding previous MCU decisions? Like, some people were unfavorable towards certain phases of the saga?
Well, it's possible. Every reboot carries with it the chance to revisit past choices. But if the Russos can channel this energy of reformation, we might witness an evolution that transcends what was done before. A fresh start, but with accumulated learnings.
Interesting that you mentioned the learnings. After all, Marvel has always reinvented itself to some degree.
Exactly. And the idea of Secret Wars fits well into this creative process. It could be a phase where the MCU shows itself to be even more resilient and innovative, blending the best of the past and present.
Yes, a kind of maturation indeed. And of course, this reboot is not just about the storyline. It's also about cultural impact and the way we tell stories in cinema today.
Right. The MCU's narrative has always been rich in cultural references and metaphors. With Secret Wars, the aim is to broaden this global connection, bringing in new fans and strengthening the legacy among those who have been following for so long.
Very well put. Look, this conversation really got me excited about the future of the MCU. We just have to wait and see how everything will unfold in this new phase.
Undoubtedly. We'll keep an eye on it, because if the Russians get this journey right, the MCU will certainly write one of the most intriguing chapters in cinema history.
Yes, definitely.